Hi guys. So, I realized that I haven't done a what is wrong with me video. Um, some of these, well, most of these are diagnosed. Some of them are not, which I'll say like which and why I think I have said things. Um, and I wrote them all down because there's a lot. And I'm sure I'm still gonna forget some, so it's fine. So I'll start with like the most common anxiety, major depression, borderline personality disorder, also known as BPD. I have GI issues, and I put it kind of under an umbrella term, mostly because, I'll have random nausea, diarrhea. I've had a colonoscopy done. They don't know why. Like, the things happen. Sometimes I can't eat for like a little while and then I'll just pig out. My appetite's kind of just everywhere. The nausea sometimes leads to vomiting, things like that. But they don't really know why it happens. Like I said, I've had a colonoscopy. They ruled out ulcerative colitis. They ruled out Crohn's. They ruled out celiac disease, which is where you're allergic to gluten. Like, it's an actual thing. It's an actual, like, you're allergic to gluten. They've ruled out all of that. And yeah, so I'm kind of just stuck with taking this fiber medicine. I'm supposed to take it every day. But I also have a problem. This isn't a medical condition. It's just a me condition. I have a problem with textures. So the, fiber is, you put it in water and it's supposed to dissolve, but it doesn't dissolve. It just chalks up, and I can't drink it because then it makes me throw up. I can drink about half of a cup before I start getting nauseous and wanting to throw up, because then after about half a cup, it's just slime. So when I go back to my doctor, I get to ask her about if there's like a pill form. I have chronic migraines, which that's its own thing. So my one doctor wanted to put me on anti-seizure medication because there's no reason I should be having migraines as much as I'm having them. And for as long as I'm having them, and as, painful as they are. Well, she wanted to put me on an anti-seizure medication, and I was all for it, for the first, 10 minutes she was talking about it. The reason I'm against it is because it can slow down your cognitive thinking, and I'm in college, and I can't really have that, so I refuse to take the medication. I also have random syncope episodes, which is fainting. I've been having a lot less recently. My last episode was probably about 3 months ago, and the time before that where I fully passed out was probably like 9 months before that. So it's getting better where I'm not fully passing out, but I'm still getting the extreme dizziness. I'm still having to lay down. I'm still having to put ice on my head, ice on my stomach, ice on my neck, like because the ice makes me like kind of focus on that instead of focusing on how dizzy I am and how the room's spinning. So that's another thing. They don't really know what it is. They classify it as seizures because sometimes I convulse and sometimes I don't. I personally think I might have POTS, but again, that's not diagnosed. The reason I think that is because a lot of the time when I get dizzy, it's from going from a sitting standing or a laying standing position. But again, not diagnosed. I don't like to self-diagnose, so And let's see, whatever that, I think I said I have PTSD. I have menstrual problems, which I know TMI, but I'm actually gonna have to go through surgery to get part of my, or get my not my ovaries, my uterus taken out. And they're gonna leave my ovaries in so I don't go into menopause. I mention that mostly because I am on a new medication. For me, it's not like a new permanent, but or for everybody, it's just a hormone, but the hormones make me very nauseous and make me dizzy and get sick, like fully get sick. So that's another medication that I'm not taking anymore. I said the syncope, the GI, I think I said I have sleep apnea. I can't remember. But yeah, I have sleep apnea. I can't sleep with my CPAP because it triggers, no, I wouldn't say claustrophobia because I'm not claustrophobic, but it triggers my anxiety and freaks me out a lot. So I go, I think next week or the week after to get something else other than the CPAP to help me with my sleep apnea. I also have a problem falling asleep sometimes, but then sometimes I'm out like a light. So it's not insomnia, but I don't know what it is. But yeah, so sometimes I can just stay up for hours and hours on end, and then sometimes I'll lay down and be out like a light. I have bad hips, bad knees, bad back, and my bad hips and bad knees is one reason why I need a mobility dog, and of course the syncope as well. Of course, it would be nice to have a reason for the syncope before I try and train my dog to like alert. Like I can't train my dog to alert to something that I don't know the alert to myself. And then I also have I have either high, I think I have high and low blood pressure, and that doesn't make sense, but I'll explain. One time I went to urgent care and they gave me a blood pressure cuff because I was getting dizzy. And they, said, take your blood pressure 3 times a day. And if you feel bad, take it again, da, 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 da. Well, I've taken it obviously more than a couple times, but I've taken it once when I was like getting dizzy and almost passed out and it was really low, and then I took it like 10 minutes later and it was still low but not as low, but I was feeling fine. And then sometimes it's extremely high, and then sometimes it's in the normal range. Yet my doctor will not look into it. She thinks it's a glitch in the cuff, even though sometimes I've went into the doctor's office and even the nurse was like, oh, everyone in this room has had high blood pressure today, and then she would take it again and be like, oh, it's fine, must be a glitch. Like, doesn't really seem like a glitch, but whatever. And then of course, when I tell my doctor, like, oh, my blood pressure was this over this, then she's like, oh, you must not be taking it right because you shouldn't have blood pressure that high. Which I used to work with a nurse, and the nurse used to take my blood pressure while I was at work, so I know I was doing it right because it was a nurse doing it, and I was doing it exactly the way she was doing it. But again, I don't have an answer for that. My doctor won't send me to cardiology or neurology. So I also have bad memory loss, which could be a symptom of my PTSD or depression, or my borderline personality disorder. My therapist thinks it's just a defense mechanism that my body set up when everything was happening. So maybe not. I want to say that's it, but I feel like there's more. That might be it. I don't I don't know. Obviously, you know, the anxiety along comes with that comes, you know, anxiety attacks, PTSD. I am very, um, very uncomfortable around most men. I would say like 99.9% of men. And it's nothing to do with the man in question. It's just how things have happened in the past. BPD, overly emotional. There's more to that, but that's the easiest way I can explain it. With the menstrual problems, you know, comes bloating, and you know, with the menstrual problems, I can't get out of bed for a week. I'll get out of bed. Well, I can't leave the house, I guess I should say. I can get out of bed, but it's for very short periods. Or I bleed a lot, so then I also get lightheaded from that, but that's because I'm losing blood. The syncope, I think I may have passed out before and hit my head, but I'm unsure because I don't remember. My GI issues, that is causing erosion on my teeth from the vomit coming up and eroding my teeth, and then the diarrhea is just causing uncomfortableness. The migraines, that's just, you know, that's a lot. I have migraines 4 or 5 times a week. They're getting better here recently, but as I said in like 2 videos ago, when I have a good day, it never remains good. Yeah, sleep apnea, that makes me not be able to stay asleep for long periods of time. I'll wake myself up. I'll wake myself up because of the snoring, or I won't, like, I can sleep for 8 hours and wake up and feel like I slept for 2, just because the sleep that I'm getting is not good sleep. And the bad hips, bad knees, bad back, that all is, you know, its own issues. My knees will go out sometimes, my hips will go out sometimes, my back is extremely painful sometimes it's hard for me to stand up from a sitting position. Sometimes I have to have my girlfriend help me up. And of course, when Kronk gets trained, that'll be one of his tasks, is to brace. But yeah, so I'll probably end up making another one of these in probably like 6-7 months. I do plan on changing my doctor next time I go to the doctor, because it took me about 8 months to get her to refer me to a specialist about my menstrual problems. So yeah, and then I also, another thing, another symptom, or another I guess symptom of PTSD is my nightmares. And that kind of ties into things, because my one doctor gave me this medication that was an old high blood pressure medicine. And the first day I took it, I passed out. And he was just like, oh, you know, maybe we need to go from a lower dose, or this and this and this. And I personally think it's because I have messed up blood pressure already, because he started me on a low dose. So yeah, I'll probably make another one of these in like 6 months, or I'll make periodic videos if I get diagnosed with anything else. But yeah, I think that's it. An odd fact that I don't know if it's true, it's in my medical record, but I don't know if it's true. One of the times I had a CT scan on my abdomen, I think that's what they're called. I don't have a gallbladder, It said it was surgically absent. I've never had surgery on my abdomen other than my tubal, but that was before my tubal, so I know, like, I hadn't had anything since then. So I might not have a gallbladder since birth, that would be interesting because no one else has ever told me that. But yeah, so I think that's it. Yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, you can ask them down below, and I'll do my best to answer them. I'm not a doctor, obviously. I wish I was, because then I'd be able to answer myself. But yeah, I'll answer any questions you have down below about my medical issues, or any like symptoms I have or anything like that. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, and some people have different symptoms for different diagnoses. So yeah, I think that's it. I will record again probably later today, since I'm on a rant on YouTube. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, because I feel like I get off here and then I start uploading it and then I'm like, oh wow, I should have said this. But I can't think of anything else, and that's why I wrote down things so I wouldn't forget. But yeah, so like I said, ask me any questions down below, or anything like that. Bye guys.